Good evening, folks. Another wonderful Tuesday, Creative Financing with JB. We got some interesting news to tell you tonight. We excited. We got Pastor Pope on here. We're going to talk about this jazz brunch. We're going to talk about a little of the work he does in the community. We're gonna indulge a little bit if it's okay with y'all, but fun and exciting. I want to just bring to y'all attention. We got a jazz brunch coming up, which we're going to allude to in the story here during the podcast. But we're going to get a little backstory on Pastor Pope for all y'all folks don't know who he is. You know, I was just telling him that I met a young man. I don't know how young you consider young, but told me he met Pastor Pope almost 22 years ago as he ministered to him. But that's great to see that when you out in the community, you're doing things, you're working with folks, you're mentoring folks, you're guiding them. It's a wonderful thing, and people never forget the good work that's being done out here in the community. But Pastor Polk, I ain't gonna talk your head off, but
it's all good, brother.
I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of like introduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about you.
So, as you already know, and we've had the pleasure of connecting, I'm Pastor Pope and Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, which is located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And we have been serving the Lord in ministry for it's been 20 years. The church is 20 years old. It'll be 21 years old in March. And we 2 years ago launched a public charity. We've always been available for food emergencies, but we launched a public charity that is New Life Food Source Pantry, which the first month we served 89 households, and we are now 2 years later, 2 years in August, we are now serving just under 1,100 households a month.
Wow.
So it has grown tremendously over the last 2 years, and we are always in fundraising mode because there's a lot of expenses to operating a public charity. And so we are having a gospel jazz brunch on Sunday, November the 9th at 1 p.m. Doors will open at 12:30. Of course, anyone that wants to come and worship with us, our services begin every Sunday at 10 a.m. And I live stream, so we end at 11:30 a.m. Of course, we have praise and worship, intercessory prayer, and praise and worship when we start service, and then we are done at 11:30. So anyone that would like to come and worship with us, we invite you to come and experience a better quality of life, and you'll be home before the Eagles game. So, so we have a good time at New Life, but. We are thankful. We have been serving in the community in education this is our 21st year of operating our Achievers Academy in middle schools and high schools. We have been doing that this year, made 21 years for us. So we've been excited about that, but the food pantry has taken on a life of its own. We've taken students on college tours. We've served in the community in every way that we possibly can. We had been taking students to Harvard and MIT for years. We would charter a tour bus to do that. But this food pantry has now taken on a life of its own. So it's been a very busy time for us all. So I'm thankful, but this is my 24th year pastoring.
Amen.
Prior to that, I was an investment banker who did mergers and acquisitions. And I have to tell you that during my whole professional career, there was always a hole in my soul until I got the calling on my life and began my biblical and theology studies. And so here I am. So I am delighted to be on your show, Brother Bazemore. It's a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me to sit in with your audience this evening.
Awesome. We welcome Nicole. It just came through, but it's just amazing that you leaving the corporate world into a calling, which is sometimes very scary. I want to say it can be very, Lord, what you doing to me right now?
Yes, I often have to laugh about that because this was never on my radar. I've said this to our congregation. This was if he hadn't called me, I would not have called myself. I would not have been doing this. This was never what I intended for my life. It's what God intended for my life. So I surrender all, and here I am.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, Ford. And we also talk about that food pantry. That's amazing. From 89
The
to,
first month, yes.
I mean, how did that start? Where did that vision come from? I mean,
So, as I mentioned, we've always been available for emergencies. If anyone needed food, we would make certain that we didn't want anyone going hungry, particularly students and their families in the Brandywine School District where we operate our Achievers Academy. So we would put food in the guidance department to make sure if anyone needed food, if they called on us and told us someone needed food, some family needed food, we would always be available for food emergencies. But we actually, so I'll give you a little backstory. We launched we launched the church, New Life Christian Center, in a middle school where we had our first Achievers Academy. The auditorium was our sanctuary. We leased the school. The auditorium was our sanctuary. Cafeteria was children's church, and we
mm,
leased the school for 4 years before moving on to the complex that we are on now.
hmm
Um, that we leased one side of the complex. The other side was being operated by the United Methodist Church, who
mm,
basically aged out. So we bought the complex, and then we launched the public charity because we knew there was a need. People were dealing with food insecurities. And
hmm
so we launched, we went to settlement on the property
hmm
August 17, 2023. We opened the food pantry, and the first month we literally, as I said, sold, pardon me, not sold because everything is free, but
right.
we opened the food pantry, and we have a sign on the corner of Marsh Road and Hillcrest where we're located, but we were putting out other signs saying free food,
Mm,
and 89 households showed up. We are a food bank partner, so a few people would come from the food bank. But since then, we no longer have the time to put out signs any longer because we've been
yeah,
so busy. But as I said, we're now doing right at 1,100 households a month.
that's a beautiful thing to be able to really reach out there in the community.
And if I can share with you and your audience also, the amazing thing is we are providing food to people in the community food that they would go into the grocery store and pick up. So it's everything that you would see in the grocery stores.
Mm,
That's the first thing. But the
mm,
second thing is we have a food pantry that is a drive up.
wow.
So these are people who just need a little help. And as I've said to our congregation at New Life Christian Center, sometimes it's just people who just have a little more month than they have money. So
That's right.
sometimes they just need a little help, and
Hmm
that's what we're there for. So it's very interesting, the dynamics, but I'll tell you that we are thankful to God to be able to be there in the community for those that just need some help.
Right, right, and it's so important, especially in this day and time. Folks just trying to make it through, just
Yes,
to get to the end, not nothing fancy. I was one of them kids that grew up on cheese sandwiches. A couple of slices of bread.
yes, yes,
It worked out for the time where we needed, so we weren't hungry, but we still was able to go to bed with some type of nourishment.
yes.
Might not have been the best, but it was food
And
for stuff.
and now we're able to, as a partner of the food bank, and with working with the resources that are available to provide food to so many households, it's a blessing to be able to serve. And we're also in the process of some expansion. We just received a great pantry makeover from the Food Lion Foundation,
Mm,
so that was a blessing. We were nominated by the Food Bank of Delaware. We were selected by Food Lion Foundation, and they came in and redid our whole pantry for us.
wow.
So it's just a blessing to be able to serve the community.
It's amazing for it. And somebody asked a question. Explain a little bit about your Achievers Academy. I guess they was reading about it.
Yes, so very interesting. We have been operating the Achievers Academy for a full 20 years.
Wow.
This is our 21st year. We operate in middle schools and high schools. It's a STEM curriculum. It's not a religion program. It is a STEM curriculum that is written by a university professor, and we implement it in schools to make certain that students not only graduate, but they have the opportunity to attend college. So we have a one of students that have attended the Achievers Academy in the Brandywine School District. We have a 100% high school graduation rate. We have a 98% college entrance rate,
Mm.
with 1% opting for the military service and less than 1% opting for the workforce.
Wow.
So it has been a blessing to be able to serve in that way also.
Wow. And that's amazing. That high percentage, of people going to college and military and stuff, we don't see that, we probably hear about the student left behind and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
all those other programs, but it's just amazing when we see our young folks taking the step to just make a career out of whatever they're going to do. If it's military, if it's school, if it's a trade or whatever, and go from there.
And
Another.
we were fortunate enough to partner also with Wharton School of Business that we teach financial literacy in our STEM program. We teach students the stock market, so they now understand how to eliminate the wealth gap. We teach them about entrepreneurship. We teach them about the real estate market. So it's a fully comprehensive program that is STEM related, covering science, obviously the cognitive portion of science, technology, how they're branding themselves online. They learn about engineering. They learn about math, which is the stock market segment in financial literacy. So as you know, you're in the creative financing sector. So we're here with you, my brother,
Yeah, right.
working through all of this, trying to get everyone where they need to go to eliminate the
And
wealth
that's
gap.
important. That is
Yes.
so important and stuff, and going from there. But tell us, can anybody sign up for that Achievers Academy, or what's the process for that?
If they're in the Brandywine School District in the middle schools or high schools, they can go to the guidance counselors, and the guidance counselor will guide them into the process of being signed up for the Achievers Academy.
Wow, Brandywine School District folks, you hear it. You hear this about stocks, investments, all that stuff that plays a part in building that legacy of wealth of what we're doing here. Also, we got past David Pope phone number coming around. So, I mean, reach out, if any volunteers out there that want to support and play a role in that, reach out and donate some time back to the community, donate some time to our young folks that might want it. But to be able to have programs like this, stock markets, I mean, it took me till I got to college to learn about stock markets.
And that's the key, because that wasn't taught in schools.
Right.
I got into the stock market in 1987. And that was not something that they taught. I'm a baby boomer, so that wasn't anything that they taught when we were growing up in school. And truth be told, that is the problem. That's the biggest problem with the wealth gap in America. Or,
Right.
the reality is that a whole segment of the market didn't get into the stock market. And as the stock market continued to grow, there was a wealth gap created. And so we've got to really focus on eliminating that wealth gap so that we can build generational wealth for the future.
Right. And that is so important. I tell people that every day in this real estate market that, you got to have that risk, because somebody's taking that risk that
Yes.
you're not going to take. And 5 years down the road, what happened? You looking behind and said, "Dag, that could have been me if I would have took that time." But it's a little discipline and it's a little education of how you go through those strategies and things like that. And we talked about you, investment banker. So I mean, that was great.
Well, and one of the things that I think we, even as a society, didn't realize is that, first of all, and if anyone has any other methods, you can feel free to reach out to me and tell me. But one of the things we tell the students often is that the earliest opportunity, particularly in the society we're living in today with technology platforms. When I first got in the market, you had to hire a stockbroker. Now, if you get into the investment sector, you can actually buy shares online yourself. The
Mhm.
reality is that the stock market is the first opportunity at a young age to begin investing for the future.
Mhm.
Then you have real estate, which we encourage everyone home ownership. So we teach the students about that also. And
Mhm.
then, of course, lastly is entrepreneurship. So if you focus on those three sectors, you focus on those three things, you have the opportunity to build wealth. That
Mhm.
truly is building generational wealth.
Yeah, and that's what's key. Somebody asked a question: does your organization provide additional resources such as information on nutrition, cooking, and classes?
Very interesting. We have a class coming up for students, for young people, um, that is going to be a culinary academy that will run for 6 weeks. It's going to be actually facilitated by someone from the University of Delaware, but it will
Mhm.
be in our banquet hall, or what we know as we call our fellowship hall. But it will
Mhm.
be there for 6 weeks. So if anyone is interested in that, if you have children that are interested in something like that, reach out to me. It's actually in collaboration with a young woman who's a member of our congregation who has a nonprofit that focuses on family life. So
Mm.
um, they can feel free to reach out to me, and I will put them in touch with her and give with more details.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question: what are some of the misconceptions about food pantries? What that you see?
Interestingly enough, I think sometimes the misconception is that you have to basically put all your information into a government system.
Right.
And that's not how it operates. For us, it is you come to the food pantry, you give us your name, we write down your name so that we can track all of the data. And the only thing we want to know is your name, how many adults are in the household, how many children are in the household, and if there's anyone in the household who's a veteran. Other than that, we don't need anything else. So we
Right.
don't need anyone bringing their phone bills or their electric bills or any of those things. And
Right.
people are turned off by thinking that they have to, all of their information is going into a government system. We
Mhm.
want their social security number or something like that. We don't need any of that. All we need to know is that you are dealing with food insecurities. And the fact that you show up tells us that you are dealing with food insecurities that we're going to help you address. And that's it.
Yeah. And Connie asked, what is the age group for this for people to come to the food pantry or some of these classes?
There is no age group for coming to the food pantry. You are welcome to come at any time. The culinary class is for students, I believe, and don't quote me on this because I'm doing this from total recall, and I am a baby boomer. I believe it's from ages 13 to 18.
Okay.
And if that's not correct, I will get the correct information and give it to them if they call the number on the screen.
Yeah, for and that's important to have that for it. So we got folks out there. We have folks struggling. It's okay to have that struggle. It's okay to be in that type of situation. But guess what? Don't stay there.
That's
Don't
exactly correct.
don't
You know,
stay in that
it's
box.
it's never how you start; it's only how you finish.
Finish. That's it. For it and stuff. And that's what
And
we
it's
try.
never too late unless you do nothing.
Never do nothing is where it starts to go to failure
Yes,
and not no
yes,
return. But we always have these times where we need to educate folks, and I tell people that this is all but education here. I provide resources, we provide some type of understanding, we provide people with the reasoning behind what we do and why we do it. I tell
yes,
people all the time, if I die tomorrow with all the knowledge I have, it does nobody no good. So I want to
absolutely.
share and pass this on. And something that intrigued me about this whole thing, Pastor Pope, is that you talk about nonprofits. I mean, that's wonderful to have folks in the congregation that's reaching out Tell us a little bit about those nonprofits. Was that like a struggle? Because people think it's like an overwhelming burden to start something or a ministry like that.
So, you just, first of all, you have to have a willing heart
Mm-hmm.
and a vision, and what dynamics are you going to serve? If you don't mind, I'm going to break this down for the listening and viewing audience. The reality is you have to make a decision that you want to have an impact on the society in which we live. You want to have an impact on the lives of others. And if you have a willing heart to do that, then, and I'm not going to preach to everyone tonight,
Mm-hmm.
but then you trust God. You take action. And that
Mm-hmm.
means setting up an infrastructure to launch a nonprofit. It means establishing a board. It means going through the documentation to structure a nonprofit. And then you begin to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means for a lot of people is they think, well, I don't have money or resources to do that. But if you save and prepare to invest, you're still investing in our society. And then you have to trust God to continue to provide. So I'll say this to you. One of the reasons we're having the gospel jazz
Mm-hmm.
brunch is to raise money for the food pantry. That's not money that's being raised for our church. It's money that's being raised so that we can support the food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always in fundraising mode. We have a golf tournament coming up in May of 2026. Because there's a lot of cost involved in running a public charity, but we address those costs by having functions like this jazz concert we're having. So it's BDG Entertainment and Record Labels is actually bringing their all stars.
Mm-hmm.
We're serving food, chicken and waffles, sausage, grits. So people are going to be able to eat. They're dine, engage, listen to music, have a good time. And one of the things that you hope is that someone will be inspired to say, I not only would I like to be present for purchasing a ticket to support the food pantry, but I might like to volunteer.
Right.
So
Right.
that when you start a nonprofit, you're always going to look for people who will be engaged to volunteer. And I'll give you a prime example of that. We have a bus that we use to pick up. We use it for a lot of things, for picking up people on Sundays for Sunday service, but during the week we use it for picking up food, or we can, if senior citizens are not able to get out, we have ways of getting food out to them. But we have a bus, and when we leased the bus, we were under the impression we were getting a 14 passenger with a driver. You don't need a CDL for that. But 16 passengers is what we got, and a driver. And for that, you need a CDL. Right. And there's a young lady in our congregation who said, Pastor, I have a CDL. I work for DART, so I can volunteer to drive. But then not only did she drive, but she said, because of my work schedule, I can't always drive when you need me to drive. But my father has a CDL and he'll drive. So you're always looking for people who are willing to help. We even have students. The Brandywine School District allows us to bring students to the food pantry for a day of service every year. So we have a high school that comes over, middle school that comes over, and we feed the students lunch, and they spend the day, and they're involved in learning how to operate as part of our STEM curriculum, learning how to operate a public charity, and they pack up bags and boxes for to be distributed for distribution. So you're always looking for opportunities to engage people to be involved in helping others. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and help our society, then this is how it all comes about.
Yeah, we had a question there that said, how can a business help or come to volunteer for?
All they have to do is dial that number on the screen, and I will definitely make certain they have the availability to come and help out and to volunteer.
Yeah, for it. And that's what this is about, folks. I just want to talk about that Sunday, November 9th, 2025. like he said, the doors open at 12:30. It's going to be from 1 to 3. Blessing and Bumping Spiritually Scrumptious is the name. We're going to have the BDG Enterprise there as Mr. Greg Williams, is going out here donating his time, playing some music. Our hats off to him. Thanks, Connie. We're going to have some good food, chicken and waffles, bacon and eggs, sausage, French toast, grits. Folks, come on now. Spend a little bit of money. If you think about it, if you spend over $1 a day, you should be at this place right now. This event coming up.
Absolutely.
It's very reasonable. It's going to be at the 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Reach out, give Pastor Pope a call, and find out how we can help, how we can buy a ticket. If you're looking to sponsor something, even if you can't attend, and you drop a donation, that changes the whole trajectory of what's happening out here in our community, with the homelessness, with the hunger, with the folks that's really scared to come out, with the transportation. As you heard, is we living on blessings and nonprofits. We believe in that we're going to make a difference out here. We believe in that we're going to have some folks come out where we pack the place. And guess what? When folks come through that drive-through to get some food, guess what? We're giving them some good food. And guess what? They're excited about, being able to be fed, because we see these state layoffs. We see the federal government layoffs. We see people not getting paid right now. So what can we do to help? We've seen panhandlers out here, but some people don't want to do that. They want to fight and try to find a way. This is a way for them to make it until they get to that next step. So absolutely. I'm going to reiterate Sunday, November 9th, 2025, between we're going to set 12:30 and 3. Come on, get a couple of tickets, get a table.
Yes, the doors open at 12:30 and the show will begin at 1 p.m. And we are excited. As Brother Bazemore said, we are at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware. Park in the parking lot. Come to the door on the parking lot, down the ramp to the door of our banquet hall, known as our fellowship hall, but it's a banquet hall, that we will be there with a jazz concert to support the New Life Food Source Pantry Incorporated.
Yeah, and folks, for all y'all listening tonight, for the 2 people that call Pastor Pope tomorrow, I have 2 tickets for you. 2 tickets that
you heard it here.
For y'all to come into there, just so y'all can see, just so y'all can call. But we're doing this, as you heard, the food bank is looking for that type of donation, so we can keep growing, we can keep expanding, we can keep feeding the community out there, and we can keep it growing. This is a vision. This is a vision that God then gave Pastor Pope. He's standing by it. He's fulfilling it through all he can do. But it is so important that we see what's happening out here. And we talk about this, and not to cut you off, this is just a step to the next step of what we have planned. Go ahead, Pastor.
And I just want to add to what you just said. If you know someone that's dealing with food insecurities, it may not even be you, but if you know someone is dealing with food insecurities, have them call the number on the line. I'll give them directions on how they can come and receive food from our New Life Food Source Pantry. But we are available to anyone. And as we indicated, it is a drive up. So people can come from wherever you are to receive food from New Life Food Source Pantry.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to do it, because my vision is for this is, as people start to see this and to be able to see where they give back, they start to build their family wealth, because sometimes we got to hit the bottom before we come back up. God starts blessing us with things, because we're going to be good stewards.
Yes,
we're going to be good and what we do to keep it going. But I'm just so excited for this event. we're out there. We're reaching out to anybody. If you know somebody, as Pastor Pope said, if you know somebody that got the food insecurities, but I want to know if somebody want to hear some good music, have some good food, and have a good entertainment, stop on by. You don't have to wait to 12:30 as they're gonna have service before. For, go ahead and
upstairs in our sanctuary at 10 a.m. So you're
yeah,
always welcome to come. But we will be having the jazz brunch start. Doors open at 12:30. 1 o'clock it starts. It'll be from 1 to 3. So as Brother Bazemore said, probably you may want to just make sure you get there early, 12:30, and the show will begin at 1 p.m.
yeah. For another question we have with running a nonprofit, how busy does that get? I mean, that's probably I
So
mean overwhelming.
it's very interesting. So I'm retired from my career. I
Mm,
do not take a salary from our church. I do not take a salary from the food bank. From the food pantry. What we do is we give of ourselves, and so my wife is still in her career, but it's a very busy schedule. You know,
mm,
she at the end of her business day, she comes to work at the food pantry, volunteers her time. I'm constantly there. But to answer your question, here's the reality. It is a everyday business. And
mm,
I'll tell you what that looks like. We get deliveries on Mondays.
mm,
Tuesdays we pick up food from the grocery stores. Wednesday, the inventory control management team comes in to box up and bag up everything that's going out on Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays we pick up. So Thursdays we have distribution, and Friday is a day of administration work where there's all the paperwork and tracking that has to be done. And
mm.
then Saturdays we actually have to go to dump all of the boxes from all the food we picked up during the week. So it's a full time operation. And
Mm,
having said that, on Sunday, anyone who comes to New Life Christian Center, if someone comes and shows up and tells us they're in need of food, we're available to give them food also. So it is a. Someone laughed recently and said, "Well, there's really a 7-day-a-week charity," and I said, "Well, the good news is we're able to do that. We're able to support that." So I'm always available, and my number's going across the screen right now as we speak. And any of your audience can feel free to reach out to me at any time because I am available.
and donations, sponsorships. It's a great opportunity to give back. You know, we often say that. What can we do? We can give back time, money. If you want to do it, helping.
And
Um,
And I would like to add, there are companies that will match donations. So if you work for a company that matches your donations when they have a day of giving, we are a public charity, a 501c3 public charity. All you have to do is contact me. I'll give you the information that's necessary. And I did notice that someone asked, how can a business help? If you own a business or you are part of in leadership of a business, contact me. We are going to have a golf tournament where someone you can sponsor if you want to do that, or you can have a foursome. But our focus for wrapping up this year, because we have a lot going on for Thanksgiving and Christmas, supporting families. So we are raising money by this gospel jazz concert that we're having, the jazz concert we're having on Sunday, November the 9th, from 12:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. Doors will open at 12:30. The show will start at 1. So come out. If you need to get tickets, now, thank you, Brother Bazemore, for your offer. For the first 2 people that you said that
yep.
contact me, you have 2 tickets for them. So um, thank you for doing that. And feel free to reach out to me. If you need to purchase tickets, you can also Zelle this number that is going across the screen, and we will make certain that you are provided with tickets also for $35.
Yeah, and that's perfect, folks. We really doing it. Somebody asked a question, Pastor Pope, how do you keep your volunteers engaged and not wore out? And I know they got to be tired some.
So interestingly enough, and this, I love the questions that your audience are asking.
Mhm.
Our volunteers during the day are senior citizens who are no longer in their career. Our volunteers in the evening are people who are in their careers, but like my wife, come at the end of their business day and they volunteer their time for a few hours in the evening. So that's really our volunteers staff that we have, and they're all people who have a heart for the society in which we live. They're all people who have decided they want to give back, and as I mentioned, some of them are retired.
Mhm.
That come during the day are retired, and those that are in the evening are still in their career.
And that's that's good for them to do that. And when it happens, do your organization partner with farmers where you can get fresh fruits and stuff like that?
So we are a partner with the Food Bank of Delaware.
Okay.
We have not. We remember we're only it's only 2 years old. So
Wow.
we are going to start reaching out to some other companies and some other farmers, but we are a food bank partner, and this has all been done in just 2 years. I mean, it's we see God at work. This is all
Mm,
2 years of work, and as a food bank partner, we've been able to be blessed to be able to feed all of the people who are in need of being fed. But in addition to that, I will shout out the grocery stores that we do business with also, because they do support in a significant way, and they are Acme Food Line and Aldi.
Acme Food Line. Shout out to them. I'm an Aldi shopper.
Yes, they. So we now have a new Aldi in our area on Concord Pike that
Mhm.
is one that does support. Acme Corporation is a big supporter. Obviously, you can tell Food Line is a huge supporter. We just were given the food pantry makeover by Food Line Foundation. So we are always seeking new partners. So if you know any farmers or farms that want to donate so that food doesn't become wasted in Delaware, we will pick it up.
Mm. And that's awesome, folks. For anybody, we always say waste not, want not.
That's right.
For it. So, we support our Acmes, our Food Lines, our Aldis, because they're supporting our community as well.
Yeah.
That they're doing some things out there. I feel good about. We have some folks that's out there, that's businesses that's willing to help and continue with the growing. Pastor Pope, I remember when I was my mother was in Georgia before she transitioned. That she used to do food bank work at the church
Mm,
where Kroger's down in Georgia, and there was another
yes.
one used to donate food, and on Sunday the people used to come and we used to sort it and have bags. I thought that was so great to see that happen, to where we even went to people's houses
Yeah.
and gave that stuff away, because you never know when somebody's in that need and want to go there. But I want to reiterate that jazz brunch, folks. That's where this transition is going to start to grow, and it's going to increase by y'all attending, participating, sponsoring, doing the necessary things that we have to make sure that we're going to have a great time. Plus, we're going to be able to extend it to community, because we had 1,100 families now. You said,
We're
Pastor
at
Paul,
11. We're at just short at 1,100 households a month,
1,100 households a month.
and
And guess
and
what?
that's from 89 households the first month we opened, and that's only been
Amazing.
in 2 years. That's
2 years.
been yeah 2 years. So
2 years.
we're actually, thanks to the Food Line Foundation, the pantry makeover, and of course the food bank, we are in the process of doing some additional expansion. So it's because we know we're going to need to be able to serve more, and,
Mm.
and that's the blessing, is to be able to serve more.
Tell me this: do y'all serve hot meals too inside the place, or?
So we don't at this time, except for this jazz brunch, for example. We're serving hot food. We have a commercial kitchen. We also have a standard size kitchen, is where we are currently doing most of our distribution during the week. but we're going to be expanding even further because during the holidays we give out from our banquet hall, but we don't do hot meals as of yet.
Yeah.
But as we continue to grow in our volunteer base, we'll be able to do some of that also. So that's
Yeah.
what we're looking forward to, is that we'll have more volunteers, and as we have more volunteers, we'll be able to expand in some other areas of operation.
And that's amazing, folks. We're looking for expansion. I see this thing as it's 10 times more than it started with that.
Mm.
It's going to continue to grow for 10 or 20 more times because of y'all donations and commitment to helping the community for it again. But as I see, you see Pastor Pope's number passing there. Call him, ask him how you can help. I mean, sponsorships and what you can do to help grow what we're doing out there in the community.
And
And
it will be beautiful to get to the place where not only are we giving out food, but, as you said, preparing some meals so that people, when their work hours aren't conducive for them to be able to cook, or they just need an extra meal where they can just stop, drive up, park in the parking lot, come down into the banquet hall, pick up a meal for their family and go out. And, someday we'll be able to do that because we'll have more volunteers. But at this point, we're not in that position at this time, but we're looking forward to growing. Yeah.
is going to happen. It's right there for it. And, I'm excited about doing community work, as I work on my nonprofit, True Home Solutions. My goal is to provide the housing that we need, people hungry, people homeless, all those H words.
Nice. Nice.
Come together to where we need housing now so people can eat, shelter, and then we can have a better way. So we're talking
You and I are going to have to talk about that a little further together
absolutely.
also. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. So this is community. This is what's called on for us to do, and it's a wonderful thing for to get it done. And somebody asked, with the fundraiser, do they just can just call your number to purchase tickets? Is
yeah.
that
So what they can do is, if they go to Zelle,
okay?
they would type in the telephone number that's going across the screen right now,
Hmm.
and it will take, obviously it will have them input their information,
Hmm.
their name. They will then use a credit card to pay for their tickets, and that will come through Zelle. We'll have a record of it, and they'll be able to pick their tickets up at the door.
Pick your tickets up at the door, folks. You can Zelle the money. It'll be available for you there. And the tickets, and we'll be waiting to see y'all there. And Pastor
Looking
Pope,
forward to it.
and Pastor Pope, tell us what made us think about this jazz brunch? Somebody asked. That was a great idea. It seems like.
So we love music. We love to laugh. We love to just enjoy life at New Life Christian Center. And because we have this food pantry, this public charity, we wanted to be as a church, we wanted to be able to support it. But
Mhm.
we know that everyone's not going to step inside of a church sanctuary. We know that. We wish that everyone would, but we know people enjoy music and they enjoy fun.
Mhm.
And so we got together with Brother Greg Williams, who we've
Mhm.
known for a very long time, decades,
Mhm.
and who's had a lot of music industry experience.
Mhm.
His father before him
Right.
was, big in music,
Johnnie
and,
Williams.
and and we've known him a long time. And we picked up the phone and called him, and we brainstormed with him. And he said, "You know what? We can do this. You've got." He came, and he's been at the church. He's a longtime friend, and
Mhm.
he came and looked at the space, and he said, "We can do this."
Mm.
And he saw the vision. And so because we wanted to do a jazz brunch. I love jazz music, of course,
Mhm.
and we
Mhm.
wanted to do a jazz brunch because we knew that people enjoyed that. So
Right.
he came in and he said, well, I can provide the entertainment,
Mm.
and we have volunteers who will cook. So they were willing to do that. And so we said, this is something we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And now and that will allow us to generate and fundraise for the food pantry so that we can accommodate a lot of the costs. People don't realize when you're operating a food pantry,
Right.
there's food costs, there's operational expenses of utilities, there's gas for the bus to pick up food, there's maintenance on the vehicle, there's insurance on the vehicle, there's cost. And they don't realize that you have to, as a nonprofit, you have to raise money to cover those costs. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the purpose for having this jazz brunch, and we know people will want to support, and they've been supporting by purchasing tickets. So we're excited about the event. It's going to be a great event, and again, it's going to be at the banquet hall at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware 19809. It is New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue,
Yeah.
Wilmington, Delaware, the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road, but it's in the banquet hall at the parking lot. So,
And Pastor Poe, how many people do you think we can hold in that hall there?
so, so it is right under our sanctuary. Our sanctuary holds 400,
Oh wow.
um, and it is literally right under our sanctuary. It does have a stage. It has plenty of space. We had a Thanksgiving dinner last year there for a school that didn't have enough space for to accommodate students and families, and we had probably a little over 300 people there for that dinner. So it's ample space, and we're looking forward to accommodating all of the people who will come out and support New Life Food Source Pantry.
Yeah. Somebody said we might have came late. What other services does your church and your nonprofit offer? Is it just food services?
So we of course have our education STEM program in the schools. We do have we do support um, going out to nursing homes to visit. We and just to be real direct, this food pantry has really taken over
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
It's the life of it is just it's just taken over so much, and we do support some other schools that we help if families are in need, but we are a, a church that is fully ingrained in the community. We don't believe in just being in the sanctuary. We come to the sanctuary to learn how to live this life out, a life of service.
Mm-hmm.
And we worship God, we praise the Lord, but we are a church that is focused on being outside of the community. So we're involved in, as you said, any way that we can with housing. We, obviously education. We do have a financial literacy and entrepreneurial program that we do periodically. So
Mm-hmm.
the next one, I'm actually going to get Brother Bazemore to come in and be a part of. So that's our goal, is to go outside the walls of the church
Mm-hmm.
and to be engaged in the community. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all do holiday meals for folks that needs it or?
So we gave out 150 turkeys and dinners Thanksgiving. Um, we did the same thing at Christmas time. At Christmas time, we adopt a family that may be in need some help.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things we do during the holidays. We last year, for the first time, because we now own the complex, we did have Urban Promise was
Oh yeah.
their students and their families came, and we had Thanksgiving dinner there in the banquet hall for them, and they will be returning again this year. So we're doing that. But other than that, we're not doing a lot of hot meals yet, but we are going to be having a fish fry coming up. We did we had a vendor event in our banquet hall just in October. We had uh, chicken and fries for that. So
Mm,
New Life is known for our food.
right.
but it turned we were known for our food before we had a food pantry, because we would have family and friends days, a huge barbecue. New Life men are cooking on Mother's Day. The men cook for all the women in the community. Um, so we were always known for our food, and then of course we launched this food pantry, and now it's just an amazing opportunity to serve in the community.
Oh man, that's a blessing, man. I'm so excited. I'll be at the jazz brunch.
Yes, looking forward to you being with us, brother.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the people that's going to come out and provide that service of just sponsorship. That's the service
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
yes, yes,
And be able to just congregate, talk, have a good conversation, listen to some music, and talk about the things that we can do to enrich our community and our neighborhoods, and so the folks can have a place of peace.
yes.
We look for a place of peace. When you have peace, you have joy, for which is the key to what we do here. And folks, as I tell you, I'm providing resources for somebody out there, as Pastor Pope said, folks that have a need for food or have a food need, I mean, come by and see how we can do it. And Pastor Pope, I forgot to ask, what time is the pantry open from usually?
I'm sorry, you went out for a moment.
What time is the pantry open?
We distribute on Thursdays from 11 to 1, from 11
Thursday
a.m. till 1 p.m.
for it. So come out, get the food, if you're in need of it, if you know somebody in need of it, this not a time to be shy or embarrassed, because we all need it.
There's nothing to be shy or embarrassed about. It's just our opportunity to help those who might deal with any food insecurities whatsoever.
Right, for it and stuff. And we looking forward to more programs that Pastor Pope's going to have that we can sponsor at the church, and do some things to where we uplift and we just keep expanding, because it's not for him to stay here. It's just for him to keep expanding, to that the growth is beyond what we can ever imagine, for it abundantly, for it. And it happened.
Yes, and we are thankful too. I have to tell you, if I may say this, I'm thankful. Thank you for having us tonight. I know I had a little technology issue, but you resolved that, and the next time hopefully you'll
We'll do it
include me
again.
again. Yes, and we'll be able to do some other things. But I'm thankful for you having us on tonight to just share with what we're doing in the community, so that anyone who needs help, we can give them the assistance that they need. So thank you for that. And of course, we're looking forward to all of you, and thank you for all of your support. As Brother Bazemore said, if the first two people that contact me, he has 2 tickets for you. So
Uh,
we look forward to you being with us on Sunday, November the 9th, from 1 to 3. Doors open at 12:30 p.m. So be in the house. Can't wait to see you.
in the house, get ready to have some good food, some good conversation. You get to meet Pastor Pope and the rest of the congregation. Greg Williams, man, I want to shout out to him.
Yeah,
He's always helping in the
Brother
community.
Greg. Yeah, he's
Uh,
always there.
I thank Sharon for letting us borrow him.
Yes, yes,
you know,
absolutely,
for
absolutely.
and stuff, and the stuff he's gonna do, because I mean that's a generous heart to come out there and to play this music, and make it a fun packed day,
Yes,
for us and stuff and everything, folks. And man, I'm just thankful that y'all just came on to hear about the good stuff that Pastor Pope's doing out there in the community. As we want to do is share, let our young people know that it's something for them when they get a little bored. We got Achievers Academy. If you're in the Brandywine School District, come on, try to get to that, to where we can help. And we're building that wealth here. We're just not talking about
yeah,
having a jazz brunch and just the church and stuff, but we're building wealth within our community, long wealth,
yeah,
through real estate, stocks, education, which is the key to what we do. As Pastor Pope said, you just be an investment banker. That knowledge there is there for you, and we want to offer that to you as he wants to give it to you, and he's showing he wants to give it to you each and every time, and go from there. But Pastor Pope, I want to thank you for even taking your time, and I know you're tired because you work
It's all good. It's all good. I really I intended this to be on our Facebook also tonight, and unfortunately, but there was some technology issues. So hopefully, Brother Bazemore will have me back again, and we'll be able to do it. But I want to say, don't hesitate to blow up my phone. Don't hesitate to call or text me at any time for all of your listeners and viewers. And I look forward to being together with you again. But certainly look forward to us being together on November the 9th for the Jazz Brunch. Yes.
Folks, thanks again. Another great Tuesday, another great show, Creative Financing with JB. We will see you next week. We will prepare for you to be calling Pastor Pope. He's going to let me know when them two people come in. I'm going to shoot that Zelle to him so we can go ahead and just start telling people. But share the word as we share resources. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great